100 years of Nintendo history all in one place, the Nintendo Museum in Japan. We got to spend a few days there to gather up all the details and hidden secrets tucked away inside and outside its walls just for you. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates about Nintendo and its history. Here you have 25 secrets of the Nintendo Museum in Japan. As soon as you enter the Nintendo Museum, you can drop off your belongings at the locker area, and here you'll find the first quirky detail. All the lockers are designed to look like Game Boy game cartridges. Some of them are special ones representing popular games for the console, like Super Mario Land 1 and 2, Wario Land, or Mario and Yoshi. The perfect welcome to the Nintendo Museum comes from the Toads. At the entrance to the main wing, there are 5 large colorful Toad figures. You can shake their heads from side to side to make them start singing, each in a different tone. Next to the Hanafuda workshop room, where there's a secret if you look up. Hidden among some plants on the ceiling, you can spot Pikachu's tail peeking out from the shrubs. Right in front, there's another plant with Eevee's tail emerging from it. A nod to the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee games for Nintendo Switch. And if you look closely at the shrub, you'll also find 2 little Yoshi eggs. In the room where you can try out Nintendo's retro console games for coins, one of the game's character is hidden. If you look up, you'll see Samus from Metroid in her Morphosphere form moving through the ducts. If, in the baseball minigame with the Ultra Machine, you hit the flower pot in room 5 with a ball, a piranha plant will pop out and start singing. Specifically, the song that was featured in Stage 2 of Super Mario Bros. Wonder for Nintendo Switch. The Ultra Hand is the only classic Nintendo toy that's sold as new in the museum store. In its minigame, the goal is to catch the balls that move from one side to the other and toss them through a hole. The twist is that these balls you grab with the Ultra Hand are actually Pokeballs. And if you look closely, you might even spot an Electrode or Voltorb Pokemon disguised as a Pokeball. In the love tester area, it's more than just love that floats. On the ceiling of the room, you'll see a giant Kirby figure, floating and puffed up just like he does in his games. The Love Tester 2.0 is the museum's modern version based on Nintendo's original 1969 toy. Back then, 2 people could test their compatibility by each grabbing a sensor, much like the museum's 2.0 version, only now you also get to play on a giant screen. Continuing with the giant theme, Nintendo lets you play classic games from systems like Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, or Wii, but with giant controllers. 2 players are required, each handling one part of these massive controllers. There's one minigame in particular that's very special. This Wii Sports Resort minigame is unique worldwide and was created exclusively for the museum because it did not exist in the original Wii version. This one is easy to miss. The museum's most modest piece of art is tucked away just as you enter the building. The father of Super Mario, Shigeru Miyamoto, left his signature at the entrance next to the Toads as a self-homage to his career and how it has blossomed into this entire museum. At the Nintendo Museum, nothing is ordinary. Even the umbrella stands in the break room are decorated with tiny badges featuring different Game Boy models. In the same room, there's a beverage vending machine shaped like Kirby from his game Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Aside from its quirky appearance, it works just like any other vending machine. To enter and play at the museum, you need an identification card like this. Before you arrive, you can have it personalized with your Mii character's image and your name. And each time you visit, you can have a different one. If you don't choose a Mii character, the default image will be an 8-bit Mario. This card has NFC technology inside, and it works like a wallet, holding your coins during your adventure in the museum. When you run out, you won't be able to reload the card with more coins, so you'll have to come back to the museum another day with a new one. And by the way, all the records you achieve in the various minigames will be stored in your Nintendo account, and you can check them out on the museum's website. Here are some photos trying out those giant controllers, and here's the golden and silver trophy that we won in the shooting gallery. Even outside the building, the Pokemon Company wanted to add its distinctive touch by placing one of its Pokemon-themed manhole covers. The one at the Nintendo Museum features a Pikachu, but you can find them all over Japan near museums and parks with different designs. For example, the one near the Tokyo Science Museum has a Tyrant and a Why-Not drawn on it. Nintendo has a burger joint in the museum called Hatena Burger. Its name comes from the word Hatena, which roughly means mystery or question. This relates to the creative process of building your burger, since you need to assemble it step by step using a web app on your mobile phone. The little creatures that make up the burgers might be based on the Nintendo 3DS game Freaky Forms, where various cute, eye-bearing shapes move around in a strange two-dimensional world. Very creative, just like the burgers at Hatena Burger. But this restaurant also features references to other very popular Nintendo games. In the main dining area, there's a large stained glass decoration featuring an image of the protagonist from The Legend of Zelda, Link, and Princess Zelda. On the walls, you'll see infographics of fish, bugs, fossils, and more, a nod to the major collections you can assemble in the Animal Crossing games. It's not the only Animal Crossing reference. When you pay for your burger, you can take a photo with a life-size gyroide, just like the ones that appear in the Nintendo game. And if you look up, you can see one of the balloons that float over the villages in Animal Crossing. If you have a keen eye, you can spot little Pikmin hidden in various spots around the museum. Outside, on top of a roof, there's a blue Pikmin lying on a rock. On one of the shelves in the Hanafuda workshop, several of them are carrying Hanafuda cards. And in the retro games room, other Pikmin are swiping an NES controller. Outside the museum, near the edge of the property, you can see 8-bit models of Super Mario and Donkey Kong Jr., the latter hidden near some trees. The building is subtly decorated with a few Super Mario Bros. Elements, like clouds on its back or 2 Mario flags on the roof that might not catch your eye immediately. Attention to detail extends throughout the museum. Even in its miniature version, there's an overall scale model that meticulously marks all the important parts of the building. It includes details of the exterior area, such as the 8-bit sprites we mentioned earlier. There are also depictions of clouds or roof flags that represent the end-of-level markers from Super Mario Bros. And Bowser's flags. Even the tiny Pikmin on the roof appears as a small dot on the model. A truly insane level of precision. The museum's secret room is the only area where video recording and photography are prohibited. It's located beneath the question mark block on the roof, as represented in the scale model. You can even check it out yourself using Google Maps satellite view. This room is covered by a question mark block because of its secretive nature, and here you can find everything and more about Nintendo's history. It houses physical documentation of everything Nintendo has created over the years, including that infamous live-action Super Mario movie from the 80s, and even prototypes of many of its consoles. This video of the model gives you an idea of what this very special room looks like, decorated with giant consoles and controllers, with each area separated into different Nintendo platforms. If you're not paying close attention, you might get the impression that the Nintendo Museum is, in fact, a museum of weapons. Toy guns have played an important role in Nintendo's history, and there are plenty of display cases filled with various kinds of weaponry. Some of them are very realistic. The related experience is the shooting game with the Zapper and Super Scope, where you must hit a bunch of targets from the world of Super Mario while avoiding shots of the protagonists. Perhaps the most important part of Nintendo's history is its cards. Nintendo began its journey as a company in 1889, when it was nothing more than a playing card manufacturer in Kyoto. At the Nintendo Museum, not only do they explain that each set of cards is based on the months of the year, but you can also make your own in the Hanafuda workshop. First, they provide you with templates, and then you have to paint them by hand with a brush. You can take your finished cards home, and you can also learn how to play Hanafuda in the courses offered at the museum. The weird Shigura Den SP experience challenges players to find the other half of Tonka poems by using an app on your smartphone. The pallets placed in the middle of the Hatena Burger are the same ones used during the construction of the Nintendo Museum. They were reused as decorative seating for the restaurant, allowing you to dine on a small piece of the museum's history. In the Nintendo Museum's secret room, there's a particularly intriguing section featuring prototypes of its consoles. The Wii balance board was originally gonna have a rounded design. The Nintendo DS was even supposed to have a side opening instead of a vertical one. But without a doubt, the most curious prototype is that of the Wii Remote, which looked like a kind of frisbee with a Mario star on the top. When you enter this area, you can hear a blend of startup sounds from all of Nintendo's consoles, from the Game Boy to the latest systems. The handrail on the stairs leading up to the Hanafuda workshop features a design that mimics the tracks from the classic NES game Excitebike. On the wall, you'll also find metal plaques representing the pixelated riders from the same game. The museum shop is unique worldwide because it offers items that can only be purchased here. The most prized item is the giant cushions shaped like Nintendo controllers, available in designs modeled after those of the Nintendo 64, Wii, Super Nintendo, and the Japanese NES in its Japanese version. Every Nintendo console has its own specific and exclusive merchandise, along with themed home goods from the Nintendo Museum. Think cups, tapestries, or plates. If you're wondering what the most expensive item you can buy in the shop is, here it is. The set of 100 poems by 100 poets written on cards with a beautiful golden design that you can buy for around $110. Almost every Nintendo game in the company's history has its place in the enormous mural at the entrance of the exhibition hall. Characters from dozens of franchises are depicted in this gigantic artwork, not forgetting classics like Mario or Kirby, along with many retro titles we can hardly even name, and of course the modern ones such as the Inklings from Splatoon or Ashley from Another Code. Continue your visit by checking out these Nintendo videos we've shared here, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next ones. Thanks for watching. See you next time.